Okay, are we going?
Yeah. It's not the greatest. Kind of like what we used to do when I first started.
Did you close does it make it less blurry to close both
No,
blinds?
we're good. We're good. We're Gucci. Please don't play with this anymore. Don't play with that. We're done. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, putting up with our antics. We appreciate you, all of our viewers out there, every one of you. Guys, thank you so much for paying attention, tuning in. You might wonder, why is he wearing that same shirt again? Well, because the Irish play Michigan tomorrow, so I'm a big college football fan.
You?
I like the NFL. Well, I don't like the NFL. I like the Chicago Bears. It's all I care about.
I'm gonna have to double that down and agree with you there. I'm not watching the.
I didn't do fantasy this year
I'm
for
not
a reason.
I'm not watching football except for the Bears. I'm not letting them take my Bears away from me. Stop
Bears!
it. I'm not letting them take
I'm not
that
doing
away from
it.
me.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, so let me find my.
I like the Chicago Bears.
Let me get my sea legs.
But what a terrible.
Okay, give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
We're ready. Let's just do it.
Pursuant to Internal Revenue Service guidance, be advised that any federal tax advice contained in this program is not intended to be used, and it cannot be used by any person or entity for the purpose of avoiding any tax penalties that may be imposed by the Internal Revenue Service or any other U.S. federal taxing authority or agency, or promoting, marketing, or recommending to another party any transaction or matter addressed in this show. The opinions expressed by the host and the guests are their own and may not be used as authoritative advice. Any use of this material without the written consent of the host is strictly prohibited.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy, on AM 560, The Answer. Tune in every week at 5 for an informative discussion about IRS obligations, credit card debt, mortgage default, collection activity, and how to resolve these legal issues using tax resolution, debt settlement, mortgage loan modification, foreclosure defense, and bankruptcy. Your host is Stephen Leahy, and the principal at Open Tax Resolutions and the law office of Stephen Leahy, PC. Stephen is the author of Deal with Your IRS Problems Today. IRS and debt issues are serious, but there is help. There are resolutions. So get ready and take notes during the IRS Radio Hour. And now, here's your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy.
Hello, Chicago taxpayers. We are coming to you from Studio C at AM 560 The Answer, and the sneaky camera, because we have a camera that kind of looks like it's a sneaky camera, this is the IRS Radio Hour.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
This show sponsored by the law office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, and Opum Tax Resolutions.
God bless you, Opum Tax Resolution.
Now remember, Opum helps people solve IRS problems. We help people dealing with audits and levies, liens and garnishments, collections on filed tax returns, and payroll tax issues. We also help people with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So if you have any of these problems, or if you know someone who does, you should give us a call at 312-664-6649. Again, it's 312-664-6649, or visit us on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. I am your host today, and most every Sunday at 5 o'clock. I am Attorney Stephen Leahy, and we are on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah Schreiner, our technical producer.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Happy early Labor Day weekend.
It is Labor Day. That's right, Labor Day weekend.
Happy
Great.
Labor Day weekend to you.
My wife was asking me, are we going to go to work on Monday? No, I'm not working on Labor Day, even though I probably should. But I'm not going to. And I'm here with my nephew, my realtor, my co-host, my very good friend, Jim Leahy.
Hey, I want to dance with somebody.
That's right, ladies. I like it. Deborah Schreiner, best in the business. I say it every week, and it's true.
I'm being patriotic.
That you are.
for
Ladies
Labor
and gentlemen,
Day.
thank you so much for tuning in on this Labor Day weekend. We know you're with your family sitting around enjoying. I am your realtor, or I can be. Jim Leahy with At Properties. Give me a call today, 847-271-3695. Let's get you into that dream home, or let's sell it and get you where you need to be. Because Illinois is a mess. We all know that.
It really is a mess, and
It really is
I
a
think
mess.
it's getting more
It's
and
getting
more
worse.
a mess.
I mean, for God's sakes, J.B. Pritzker had a commercial with holding puppies.
I know.
I had as a joke with a friend of mine that we're going to start a political movement called the Puppy Party, and I'm going to be like,
Puppies.
no, I'm not
You
going to.
like puppies.
No, but I've said we're not going to do anything political.
Keep
just
it down,
hold-
Alex.
Yeah. Just go. He's silenced. Yeah. But no, ladies and gentlemen, the news roundup.
Review and comment on the news. I'm really fired up today because
I know you're fired up
This
today.
stuff is really getting. First, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I made it work anyway.
And for what Attorney Stephen Leahy is saying for all you IRS Radio Hour listeners out there is we record the show. So before we get into the
Video.
news roundup, that's right, we record it. Well, we record it, but we also, too, have a video so that we have video
so you can look
line,
it up,
please.
That's-
Yeah, so you can look
it up, and you can find the answer to your questions.
That's right.
Right. So we have video content that when you have a question, because I can't answer every question every week.
That's right.
Remember as we had the young lady, why don't they answer my question this week?
Yes.
We can't answer every
We
question.
can answer it. We do
If
a
she-
live
That's true. And
broadcast
she
of
could
this
get on and
show
ask,
on
that's right.
Friday because we record Friday show or Sunday. But you guys can tune in Friday afternoons and write your question, and we'll answer it live on the show. Well, as we're recording it.
Let me talk about what I'm fired up about, okay? Because it's coming out. This Bruce Orr, who worked for the FBI, he's a head honcho, one of the head honchos at the FBI, whose wife worked for Fusion GPS, whose wife also turns out was involved in writing the dossier on Trump, easy for me to say, and who also was not supposed to be involved. And it turns out that a lot of people in the IRS, because I'm going to connect this to the IRS, and this is what gets me so fired up about this, because everybody in the FBI knew what was going on, pretended not to know, even though Bruce Orr wasn't supposed to be involved. Now, one thing about Bruce Orr is he's coming out and he's telling the truth to to Congress. Why? I guess he was afraid he's going to go to jail. Maybe somebody should go to jail for this stuff because it's
Deny.
exactly, and that's what they were doing.
That's their line. Deny,
And
deny,
what
deny,
gets
deny.
me, what's also coming out, right, is that the FBI planted stories in the media. Okay, in the Washington Post, on CNN, in the Wall Street Journal, and then they used those reports that they planted as proof in the dossier in the FISA warrant when they went to go get a FISA
And
warrant.
it's a false dossier, a false claim, so people are starting to
and
go
they,
into false
and they
claims.
planted their own. You see, Judge, this is out there in the press. You put it out there in the press. You're the one that created this problem.
And we're going to talk about this actually the next segment because, ladies and gentlemen, it's a blog segment for
Yes.
those who are listening.
And that's where I'm going to connect it
That's
to the
why
IRS.
it's going to connect. That's why we're going to connect all this.
Because this happens with all government agencies, okay? When someone has total control and they could do anything they want and they know and they lead you down a path. And you don't know the path they're leading you down. That's what's going on here
scary,
with
man.
This is what happened with Trump. It's coming
How
out.
free are we?
I agree. Now they could do this to the president of the United States because remember a lot of this was done after he was already elected president of the United States.
Unbelievable.
What
It's
can they do to you?
unbelievable.
If
It's
they could do that to him,
unbelievable.
what could they do to you?
Listen, you might not like the guy. Fine. Don't
I
like
agree
the
with
guy,
that.
whatever.
I agree with that. I agree
But
with
come
that.
on. This is unprecedented stuff. I mean, they're going after this guy's attorney. Going to his with guns drawn, and they just ask Hillary Clinton, "Come on in,
I know.
Let's take a seat." What's going on?
Can you make it Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't make it Saturday. Can
would you
make
like a cookie?
Can you do it Monday?
I have cookies coming
Can
out.
you do it Tuesday? What day could you?
That's what's
we'll give it to
scary.
you. But we'll give you an hour. How's that?
That's right.
And then
They'll
here-
come right
I
after
know.
you and they'll bury you. If you
They'll
don't like,
bury
if they
you.
don't like you, if they don't like, they'll go after your
what
your
else is-
funds. They'll go after your
Yes.
family. They'll go after your friends.
Yes.
The 3 Fs:
That's
funds,
what happens.
family, and
That's
friends.
when they could, right. Well, they start talking about tax evasion or fraud. One of the first things they do is they do asset. they grab all your money, and now you don't have any money to get any because they say it was ill-gotten, and now before they even proved anything, and now you don't have any funds to hire a
It's
lawyer
so
to help you
It's so
defend
scary.
yourself.
I mean, look at Illinois. You have J.B. Pritzker coming out saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna, I think drive or." Taxing people for the mile is going to be a great decision.
Great idea.
You know what? Being
Great
a realtor
idea.
in the great state of Illinois, and I use that loosely, but I am this is my home. This is where I operate business. This is my town. Not my town, but this is my family.
Frank, it's my kind of town too.
Whatever. What I'm saying is that make it more of a burden for Illinois homeowners and taxpayers.
I know. Do it more. Well, do more. You can't do more property taxes. Why? You've already killed. Not only do we have to pay all these property taxes, but it totally deflates the value of your home. So you can't even turn it around and sell it anymore.
Yeah,
who wants it?
You want me?
No.
Where I operate. Go on and look at people in the eye. The hardest part is look at somebody in the eye going, well, the market isn't dictating a return on your investment. It's about half of what you
I agree.
And I mean, I'm dealing with
I
$1 million
thought things were
homes
better.
here.
I thought things were better.
Yep.
They're not better for you.
Not here.
I agree with that.
Not in Illinois.
I agree with that.
Not in Illinois.
But again, what else is going on is they're finding out that all these people that were involved in the Trump Tower thing, that meeting in Trump Tower, they were also communicating with the FBI before.
Well, we knew that, though. They were talking about that.
We
Yes,
didn't know that they were meeting with these people. The same people that were in that meeting were talking to the IRS, to the FBI before the meeting, and then the same day of the meeting, and then after the meeting. There's emails about this, that they were doing this, and the FBI was totally involved in that Trump Tower meeting. Not that meeting mean anything anyway, because
we don't know.
Well, I'm just saying because now we know McCain's people met with the Russians. We know that.
What did you say about collusion? What's collusion? How about that? How about somebody getting together, putting a fake dossier about a presidential candidate
with
putting it out?
foreigners, with the foreign government?
Yeah, with a foreign government. I think that's collusion as well.
I think that's collusion.
It's both sides of the aisle.
I agree with that. So if you're going to go after Trump, you got to go after the
We're running
other
out of
side.
time. We have a great show lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen, today. I know, great content. The blog segment, we're going to link it up to what we're talking about. What's the blog segment going to be?
I'm going to talk about why you should have an attorney represent you in front of the IRS and not some.
Okay,
not
and then we're going to do the Trump segment. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to do Mr. Know-It-All. Great question this week. We're going to wrap it up with a little bit of Bears, Cubs, and, well, sports talk. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, remember, Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show lined up for you today, so stay tuned. You can always go on YouTube and watch our content on there as well to get the answers that are burning deep down inside. So listen to our sponsors and come right back here on AM 560.
The answer. Woohoo! That was good.
Attorney Stephen Leahy, I have to say that I know you're getting fired up, but for the right reasons, because I know what you're going to be talking about on this blog segment. And this is terrifying stuff.
And people think it doesn't happen. And again,
won't happen to me.
They road thinking because they're leading you down, and that's what I'm going to talk about here in the IRS in the blog segment, because this is the terrible part about it. I shouldn't play with that camera, should I?
No, please do not touch that.
Even though I think it's
I don't care.
It's a little bit too much table and not enough me.
Okay, well, that's what you get for leaving your stuff at home.
I don't know. Let me see if I can move over here and see if it'll make it better. Does it make it better? Oh no, move it over this way and make it better. I don't know. Let's see if I can do this.
You're scaring Deborah.
I know. I can understand. I scare myself sometimes. I got too much. I need more headroom though.
I
Jim.
get it, but for right now, this is the best we got.
Okay, I got it. Well, let's do it then. I don't know. I guess it's that. Hold on. Maybe one thing I could do is I could unplug this cord right here.
No, don't touch that cord.
Perfect. That cord was cutting my face in half. I thought it was this cord, but I can't tell. Now, oh, that's good. Oh, yeah.
IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Hey, welcome back. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Here with Deborah Schreiner and Jim Leahy, and we're here on the, did I say IRS Radio Hour? Well, that's what we are.
No, but we're here on AM 560,
The Answer.
That's right.
It's
the blog segment. The blog. The blog. You know it's Sunday at 5 when this music hits?
I know you love it, as I do.
I've come to love it. I think it's a great segment.
I actually was talking to the listeners, but I could talk to you too. Okay, so let me tell you this.
Well, no, before you go, ladies and gentlemen, again, I am the show's realtor, and if you are looking for a beautiful home in beautiful Bannockburn, I say beautiful a lot. It's huge. No, but for real, I do have a home listed in Bannockburn, 4.8 acres, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. We are singing at $689,900. You're not going to find a better price for
Bargain.
that. For real, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, give me, Jim Leahy, with that properties a call today, 847-271-3695.
Now I'm going to stay fired up from the last segment because I was talking about the government and how they can set people up and how you shouldn't trust them. And the name of this segment is really why you should have an attorney represent you in front of the IRS, actually in front of any governmental agency, and not just some representative, okay? Because the IRS lets CPAs represent you. They let these, what they call enrolled agents, represent you. And I have enrolled agents that work for my outfit, and they're great. But you need an attorney's office, okay? Because if you look at the first there's the IRS code in the statutes, and the statutes, it's a big thick book. It's unbelievable how thick the book is, and they break those statutes down into what they call the IRM, the Internal Revenue Manual, and this manual covers every aspect of collections. And in any area, collections is just one part of 39 parts. There's 39 different parts. Part 5 is collections. Then you have appeals and all this stuff. And so nobody could know all of that manual. Okay, and certainly your revenue officer doesn't know it. They have maybe been exposed to it, but I can tell you this: nobody ever holds their feet to the fire and make them follow the darn manual. Okay, they kind of go about their own way because nobody's there because everybody's afraid of them. Okay, and so then they lead you down this.
You.
Well, that's right. Because I'm an attorney and I understand what the rules are. And oftentimes the people, the revenue officers, they don't care what the rules are. And then they try to manipulate the rules, as I was just talking about with the FBI. They try to manipulate the rules to make them, to go around them.
Before you even continue this is why it's so important. This is why it's so important to have representation. We've talked about this for the past month. Even if it is an attorney, Stephen Leahy, but get somebody.
I have 2 cases that just this last couple of weeks that demonstrate this so amazingly. Okay, so I got one guy. He comes to me. He's already being levied. We try to get the levy removed. Installment agreement, or at least we proposed an installment agreement. The revenue officer says we didn't and goes ahead a levy against my client. And then I appealed that, and I won the appeal. Okay, and then they did an administrative appeal of my appeal. Okay, and that was kind of a super secret because I was a third party and who's not going to talk to the IRS, and they make a third party distant determination about what should happen, and they submitted on my appeal, and I wasn't involved in it, and they overruled my appeal, and now all of a sudden they start and how I could appeal again, and I would have won that appeal. But the problem is, my guy is going to lose his paycheck because they have this levy. Paycheck is coming. So, because the only thing more powerful. It went on again. And
I want to buy a condo.
You want to get your girlfriend pregnant?
What?
Oh, condo. I thought you said condo.
That was bad.
Is it working?
The internet's no.
Are we going to do a Trump segment? What do you want to do?
Yep. Unless you have anything for the IRS.
No, I know. Trump segment. I don't care about anything anymore.
Okay, all set?
Yep. I'm
Trump
set.
segment?
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorneys on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise.
At a great point, they're like, look at how brutal it is. It's like they don't wear gloves to protect their face; they wear it to protect their hands.
It does protect your face.
Look at this guy; he just got.
Well, you know, if you let MMA, they have gloves though, but
Yeah, but it protects their hands. It's
no,
very
in MMA now boxing
Yeah.
gloves protect you. I mean, they don't
yeah because it's more of it's the sport of hitting the.
bobbing and weaving and bobbing.
What's your question this week?
I was trying to tell you what the question was. The question is, does the co-debtor stay apply to tax to the IRS? See, when you file, and I'll do that. Let me see. And I know that's
The reason why I stopped you there too, because again, I've had people. Dustin's talked about a couple others too that have listened to our podcast. When you get ranting like that, me too. But they sit there and they go, "Wow, that's a great point," and all of a sudden you just jump, and they're like, "Wait, that was a great point. Keep going with that." Mm-hmm. And you're jumping around too much, and you're not really getting anything. Mm-hmm. Are we live here?
Yes, we are. It's behind the scenes look, Jim. I hope we keep. What's happening is we're losing our Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, I know it keeps going in and out.
Oh, that's a much better picture. That's much better. Let's hurry up before I lose my Wi-Fi connection.
I thought you were about to say wife.
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
I am the Tax Man, and welcome back to the Tax Man's Show. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The answer.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All, the segment where attorney Stephen Leahy is going to answer those questions that is going to be great for content on YouTube and ChicagoTaxTeam.com because it's going to be your hub to fight the IRS.
You haven't been saying that lately. I missed that, Jim.
I haven't been saying your hub.
Yeah, your
I say
hub.
it that's my tagline.
I know, but that's why I miss it, because you haven't really been saying it. I noticed that you haven't said it. Anyway, let's talk about what the question is. It's kind of a mundane question, but not. I don't know what that means. Okay, because it's about bankruptcy. So the question is, and I got this week. I'm filing bankruptcy. Isn't there something like a co-debtor stay? And so that means the IRS can't go after my wife if I file bankruptcy and she doesn't. Can they still go after her? And
that's a great question.
Yeah, because generally when you file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, there's a co-debtor stay. What that means is if my wife and I have a credit card together, and I file for protection under Chapter 13 bankruptcy, the credit card company, and my wife does not. She's not filed. The credit card company can't go after my wife because there's a co-debtor stay. They can't go after her while I'm in bankruptcy. Okay, so a lot of times when people owe the IRS, so I had a client whose ex-wife, they used to file together, and he owes some money. So she owes the money too, but they're coming after him, and so he has to file. Wants to file for protection under the bankruptcy law under Chapter 13. And he said, "Well, will they still go after my wife?" And the answer is, unfortunately, the answer is yes. They can still go after your wife. Why? You just said that if it was a credit card, they couldn't, because here's the thing: the co-debtor stay applies to consumer debt. I mentioned this earlier, and I've done a show about this before, that taxes aren't considered consumer debts.
That's right. You have done that. You know where I watched that? It was on our YouTube channel.
And because sometimes this can be used as a very big advantage for people, that IRS debt is not a consumer debt, because it's one way to avoid what they call the means test. So if your income is higher than the average family your size, then you may not be able to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. But if the majority of your debt is not consumer debt, so I have a business and I'm running a business, or I have a lot of taxes that I owe taxes on, then it's not consumer debt. And if the majority of my debt is not consumer debt, then the means test doesn't apply, and I can file for Chapter 7 where I couldn't do it otherwise. And I've done this for clients that were actually gone to see other attorneys. They were going to do a Chapter 13. Their payments were going to be $400-500 a month, and instead I did, and that's for 5 years now. $100 a month for 5 years, 60 months is $6,000. So $500 a month for 60 months is $30,000. That's what he would have had to pay under Chapter 13. Instead, because the majority of his debt was IRS debt, non-consumer debt, then we can file for a Chapter 7, and he walked away from his debt and didn't have to pay $500 a month, just saved him $30,000. Okay, but there's a plus side to taxes being non-consumer debt, but the downside is that if I file a Chapter 13 and I have a co-debtor, so my wife, my ex-wife, whatever, and they'll go after her, still levy her bank account.
So like wife or boss, they could...
Exactly, because she joint with your wife, or more for the debt.
God, I hate that.
Here they have innocence, and we'll talk, because that gets very involved too. So sometimes, like they get divorced, and the ex-wife was like, "I didn't know we owed all this money in taxes. You didn't tell me." That happens a lot, and so there is something called an innocent spouse, where I could prove to the IRS that wasn't your tax obligation, and they shouldn't come after you for that. And so you can avoid it that way. But if you sign the tax return, you are jointly and severally liable for that tax debt, and that means if he files bankruptcy and he gets away from and they discharge his debt, they can come after you for the whole thing, you being the other person that did not file bankruptcy. And if he's in a Chapter 13 in a payment plan, they could still come after you, even though you were a co-debtor. Even though those credit cards, as I mentioned, they can't come after you, but here's what they can do. After a Chapter 13, so say if I owed $25,000 and he's paying 10%, so he pays $2,500. And on the co-debtor, they can't come after me while he's in bankruptcy. But after the bankruptcy, I didn't file bankruptcy. He got away from the debt. He's walking away from it. But I'm not going to be able to walk away from it. And after the bankruptcy, they can come after me. And see, So because so it gets complicated. So again, if you have co-debtors, if you think about bankruptcy, if you owe the IRS, call me. I'll give you some information about it. Anyway, I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions regarding this question or others, call Open Tax Resolution 312-664-6649 to visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. See, I say it every time. I'm telling you, man. Anyway, remember, it is going to be your hub. And I'm Jim Leahy with That Properties. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, give me a call today, 847-271-3695. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're wrapping the show up IRS Radio Hour style here on AM 560.
The Answer. So every morning I wake up, I set the alarm on my, what do they call it? What's the Amazon? Alexa. On my Alexa, I set it for every morning at Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock. And I wanted to use the Pink Floyd song Time, right? Because it begins with all those alarm clocks going off. And it really does work. But the problem is I can't tell it what song to play. So sometimes it plays, Comfortably Numb. It's hard to wake up to Comfortably Numb. It doesn't really wake you up very well. And I can't seem to change it. Another thing that Alexa won't do, which kind of frustrates me, is it won't let you set up different areas for. So, for instance, in my house we have a bunch of them, and I could say, Alexa, play this station on the Everywhere group, and the Everywhere group is all of them in my house. So now I can hear it in my bedroom, out in the kitchen, out in the living room. Same station out in the backyard.
I hate Alexa.
Out in the backyard, it all plays the same station, same song. I love that. But if I don't want to play it in the bedroom and I just want to play it in,
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Alexa and setting up groups.
His alarm clock in the morning.
That's right. That's where I started.
So does it ring throughout the whole house?
If I put it on there, but I'm saying the limitations of Alexa that I think are false limitations. They set them falsely.
They're still working on it.
I understand.
It's a work in progress.
So again,
technology.
So I have this Ever group and it plays in all these. They should give me. I can't set up another group like, okay, only play it in the living room and in the kitchen, or only play it in outside and in the kitchen. I can't do that. There's only one. I only get one group, and I could reset it every time, but then it gets really complicated. But you'd think it would be easy to just say, okay, now just play it in these two. Now I'll play it in those three. Put it in those four. Okay, put it everywhere. But they don't. You can't do that.
It sounds easy in theory, but I don't know much about technology, so I'm not going to assume that it's like snapping your fingers.
I understand, but it seems like something that's attainable. And I don't know why they don't do it that way, but they don't. So, and like you said, maybe they'll overcome that. And they probably, I hope they do, because it would be really much more helpful and much more useful, I think.
All set?
We are set.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560 The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not your host, attorney Stephen Leahy, but your co-host, Jim Leahy with That Properties. That's right, the show's realtor. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, I'm there for you. And I'll tell you who else is there for you. Open Tax Resolution 312-664-6649. And this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The Answer.
Attorney Stephen Leahy, what a great show today.
Well, thank you, Jim. And I have to say thanks for your help, and it wouldn't be a great show without you. And I want to say that you are a trusted professional. And on this show, we want to highlight those trusted professionals and those that you can trust, because these are important decisions. These are important areas of your life that you should get somebody that you trust. Okay, and I'm trying to find trusted professionals for you that I could put them out there and let you meet them. You can meet them, talk to them, ask them questions, and if you want to hire them, then you can hire them because you'll know them already and you can build some trust. If you don't like them, then don't hire them. But at least you can have an opportunity to meet some of these great people that I know that I think you can trust and you should trust when it comes to finances or legal decisions or even medical decisions. So we're working on that. And we're going to talk more about that in the future. But I want to tell you that Jimmy's a trusted individual, and that if you need help buying and selling a home, you should call Jim. Okay, because that's the way it works.
Thank you so much. Jim Leahy with That Properties, 847-271-3695. Again, I try to follow, the values and virtues that not only my father has taught me, but what you've taught me. And that's why I have that Jim Leahy guarantee.
I agree.
That she'll treat you like family, because you need someone who you can trust.
Exactly.
You need somebody out there who's going to represent you to the fullest of their capabilities.
Local people who care about you. And that's really what it's about. It's local people who put their business and their clients, they put their clients first in the business, okay? And so they're not really, we all want to make money. That's true. We all want to make money.
Yeah.
But actually, it's really about helping people. It seems cliche, but it's the truth.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the first time really in my life where I have a helping people, because
I agree. It's an important decision in their life.
That's right.
I mean, how often do you buy a home? Maybe 2 times in your life you buy a home. And so these are important decisions, and you need trusted people to help you make these decisions and to give you advice. And that's just the way it is. And trusted people also have other people that they trust, that they network with, that they can kind of lead you to them. Oh, you buying a home? We have a great realtor, and your home, you're going to need insurance. I have a great insurance agent that you need a mortgage. Well, we got mortgage guys that I think you can trust, and there's a whole line of people.
And since we're on the radio, we have connection to a multitude of people and individuals who are also those trusted professionals as well.
Exactly. And so that's in our network, and you can I want to answer your questions and inform and entertain.
Well, there'll be more about that coming up in future weeks. Mm-hmm. But ladies and gentlemen, I kind of teased at the beginning of the show that we were going to talk a little bit about the Bears and the Cubs. I did my part. I mentioned it because Jim and I really talking Bears.
Jim and I went to the game on Monday. It was
That's
great.
Right.
Jim went to the football game. I didn't go.
I went on Saturday. I was at the Bears game Saturday. I was at
Thursday.
I had a good time. No, I did not go Thursday, even though tickets were very cheap.
I went to the game on Wednesday. I only caught
you got there in the sixth inning. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
beats nothing. That's when the sun came out.
Tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub. Help fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jim Leahy with That Properties. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, give me a call, 847-271-3695. Also, too, remember, same bad time, same bad channel, Sunday at 5. You know where to listen to us and get great advice on how to get out of tax trouble. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more great programming here on AM 560.
The Answer.
Attorney Stephen Leahy, thank you so much for the trusted professional reference. And it's true. That's why you're a trusted professional as well, because you have worked your way to have that kind of reputation behind you. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Attorney Stephen Leahy will work for you. Give him a call. Thank you so much for watching. Same bad time, same bad channel, Sunday at 5 on AM 560. The Answer. I hope that same bad times